complete to Rob Moore, who caught only one last week. And Buddy Ryan said, we've got to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, the other wide receiver, Frank Sanders, only caught one pass as well. And as you watch Dave Craig, Vern, you have to believe this Cardinal offense is going to be better than they were a year ago. They were awful on offense a year ago. But with Dave Craig, they have a mature guy. And I believe, finally, for Coach Buddy Ryan, a quarterback that actually he believes in. And if your coach doesn't believe in the quarterback, you can't lead a team. But I think he believes in Dave Craig.
First down, Arizona. They've crossed midfield. They have the ball at the 48-yard line of the Eagles. Frank Sanders in motion. Garrison Hurst comes right, searches behind his offensive line and doesn't find much of an opening.
It's okay. You have to be patient with the running game. So many NFL teams, you know, they try it. They tell us every week, Vern, you know, we got to run the ball to win the football game, and they have no success early in the game, and then you give up on it. I mean, the key thing about the running game, as you watch Dave Atkins, the offensive coordinator of the Cardinals, you have to hang in there with it. You have to give it some time to develop, because offensive linemen have to get into the flow, the run game flow.
Officially, they're calling this second down and 11. Chad Van is in a slot to the right, or actually in a wing to the right side. That's him in motion. And that's the defensive line in motion as Garrison Hurst is caught and dropped by Derek Frazier. That's the second fine defensive play by Frazier.
Yeah, that's the thing about playing corner, Vern. I mean, on one play you're running down covering Rob Moore, and you know, you got all kinds of pressure on you. The next moment you got to take on an offensive guard, fight him off, and make a tackle. And we've seen it twice by Derek Frazier. The first time was on a third down, forced a punt.
Defense number 96 in a neutral zone during the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That's Mark Gunn.
Not Clyde Simmons.
There are so many guys who came here from Philadelphia to play under Buddy Ryan.
Yeah. This is free agency, man. You know, moving around.
We were down in the tunnel leading to the locker rooms about an hour before the game, and Seth Joyner came by without a uniform on. Yeah. And I, for the moment, couldn't remember which team he played for, obviously.
Well, we thought you saw Keith Byers, too.
Second and 6. Craig lets it go, left side. Caught at the 31. Rob Moore, second grab.
Yeah, Dave Craig is a guy who, when he starts quickly, he usually has a good football game. We talked about him being, you know, as streaky as a dirty window. But when he gets going, and when he gets on a roll, he's hit 2 balls downfield, he can have a very effective ball game.
Dave Craig, chatting with us the other day, said, I don't think I'm going to go 10 for 22 many times.
No.
And the 3 interceptions really had him upset. First down and 10. No score early first quarter. Craig drills it, intercepted, picked off by Bill Romanowski. And Romanowski brings it back out to the 28-yard line.
They put him at tight end. I mean, that was a heck of a catch by Bill Romanowski. And Romanowski is known more as a kind of a run stopper. But that was one heck of a catch by Bill Romanowski. He's going to come in the left side of the screen, number 53 in the green jersey. I mean, perfectly read, gets the right paw up there, and the Eagles have another nice play by their defense.
For Bill Romanowski's 5th career interception, the Eagles take over, and Charlie Garner has replaced Ricky Waters at running back. First and 10 from the 28. Here's Garner. He goes over right guard, out across the 31. Let's go back and take a look at the Romanowski pick.
And we talked about Derek Frazier making some nice run stops. Romanowski is a strong linebacker. It means he guards the tight end most of the time, stops the run. But every once in a while, you get back in coverage, and you have to make a play like this. You know, when you're 0-1 and you're trying to get your season turned around early in the year, you need plays like that. And Bill Romanowski just made a very good catch, very good interception.
6 years with the 49ers, where he was a player under Ray Rhodes, now in his 2nd year at Philadelphia. Here's Garner going right, knocked down to 31.
We talked to Ray Rhodes yesterday about Charlie Garner, and he was very upset that Garner was taken out of the game last week and not sent back in. He wants him to touch the ball 10 to 15 times because, as he said, anything can happen when Charlie Garner touches the ball.
Got the idea that Ray Rhodes was upset with John Gruden, who benched Garner when he lined up in the wrong formation. That was just one of a myriad of problems that the Eagles had offensively last week. 4 wide receivers in now on 3rd down. Cunningham. Got him. Sacked 5 times last week. Eric Swan gets the sack here in the first quarter.
Coverage sack, Vern. Good coverage. And number 98 is a disruptor. He can run over you, and he's got enough power to go through you and then just toss you away. Now, Panos, the guy he tossed away, weighs 293 pounds. Eric Swan is a force, period.
I think Eric Swan was surprised he wasn't double-teamed then.
Yeah, you know, Ray Rhodes said, we are going to double-team him. He didn't that time.
Tommy Hutton on to punt. Anthony Edwards waits to return it. And this one will be returned from the 27. The counter punch takes it out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Well, both teams with scoring opportunities. But we're stuck on zilch thus far. Back in a moment. 4:50 remaining opening quarter. Randall Cunningham, now in his 11th season, is playing for his 3rd head coach. And he talked about his relationship with each.
With Buddy Ryan, I was in a great system. He said, hey, go out and make 5 big plays. We'll win the game. Defense, get turnovers. You guys get sacks. We should win the game. And we got kind of used to that style, so we got a little unorthodox and just making things happen and having fun. And that's what we were to do as players from our coaching staff. When Coach Kotite came in, he says, all right, sit in that pocket. I want you to be a 70% passer. It was a little tougher to adjust, but then when things broke down, I had that finger in my face. It was you, Randall. And then now it's like, hey, you go out and play. You want to run, you run. You want to dump it off, you dump it off. Don't take as many sacks as you used to take. Throw them away. It's good coaching. It allows us to be a better football team.
Randall Cunningham sitting beside Ricky Waters. And just a moment ago on the punt return, Kevin Turner injured.
It's pretty ugly, his right knee. And it's enough to make you want your kids to play soccer sometimes.
Yeah. The best news is he did walk off by himself. We've got a report. From the 41, fumble. Dave Craig is the all-time career leader in fumbles.
It's 130, I believe.
That's 130 in his 16 years. He had one last week, and he just fumbled the snap here. That's not an enviable mark in the history books.
And these are not recovered fumbles, but these are just fumbles. John Elway had one as well. But boy, that, well, you know, it's kind of a compliment, too, to be in the league that long, to be able to fumble the ball 130 times.
Right. Kevin Turner played last year with New England, and let's hope the news is not bad. 2nd down and 12. The handoff to Garrison Hurst. Nice little bit of running. Boy, he was nifty to stay on his feet. Mike Mamula is a part of the tackle, and Kurt Gavea.
And I think Bill Romanowski got a shot in him there, too. I mean, there are 3, 4, 5 green jerseys around Garrison Hurst on this one. You talk about, you know, run into darkness. There was no daylight there, Vern. I mean, there's a hole for a second. It closes. You're going to see he breaks a tackle, and then Romanowski gets a shot at him. Gavea and a few of his teammates get a piece of him.
3rd and 11. Romanowski with the interception on the last possession out of the shotgun. Whoops. Left tackle Ernest Dye moved. He was the topic of some back-and-forth bantering this week. Buddy Ryan, who is his coach, was talking about his battle with Mike Mamula.
False start on number 65 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
And Buddy Ryan said, I like my guy. Mamula will eat his lunch and then steal his lunch money. I mean, Dye will. Well, Ray Rhodes said last night, we read that, and I like my guy in a one-on-one.
Yeah, Ray Rhodes was awfully fired up about that matchup, wasn't he?
3rd and 16. No score. Opening quarter. Both teams with threats. 4 wide receivers in. The blitz threatened. Only 4 coming. Craig comes right. Larry centers. Catches the ball, but he's going to be knocked down at the 41. It'll be 4th and still 9 yards needed for the first down.
Well, as we watch this first quarter unfold, Vern, I mean, this is going to be kind of what we expected. It's going to be a defensive game, I think a close game, unless there's an unusual number of turnovers. You're going to see a 4th quarter type of game because we have 2 offenses that are trying to prove themselves.
There's Jeff Fiegels on the punt. Kelvin Martin back to return it. He had a 38-yard punt return to open the season last week. We saw him tack one back 85 yards in preseason. This is a terrific punt by Fiegels. Oh, what a dandy punt. Wow.
That is good directional punting. And Jeff Fiegels is one of the best of being able to do that. 53-yard punt.
And they're going to bring it back.
Oh, my. We were talking to Jeff Fiegels about punting this week, and he was saying, you know, I count down 50 yards.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Repeat, 4th down.
And he said, I created this little box, and I try to drop the ball in this little box. Well, he dropped the ball perfectly that time. 53-yard punt, and gets called back.
Al Roberts, the special teams coach, who was with Buddy Ryan in Philadelphia during the 5 yards there. He wants to know who wasn't up on the line of scrimmage. Don't know that he's satisfied with the answer he just got.
I don't think you ever get the right answer. So, you know, no.
Jeff Fiegels, who grew up in Scottsdale, played for the Philadelphia Eagles, among other teams, and is now back home in Arizona, will punt for the 2nd time. And this one is not going to be as effective. This will be returned by Kelvin Martin. Pretty good downfield coverage by Kwame Lassiter, number 42. Lassiter makes the tackle. We're in the desert. Valley of the Sun. Back right after this. I've been doing Cardinal games here since 1988. Those guys haven't aged, and they're always in the same place.
Same guy. Enjoying weather really only George Hamilton could really enjoy.
Well, I wondered what happened to Starsky and Hutch. Cowboys and Vikings both won today. Next Sunday, we'll be in Minnesota at the Metrodome, 8 p.m. Eastern. Dallas, Minnesota, 20 years since the Hail Mary pass. 1st and 10. Here's Waters going right. Gets a lot of room. Aeneas Williams finally knocks him out of bounds, but Ricky Waters with his biggest run of the season.
Boy, Seth Joyner lined up as a defensive end, Vern, and he was very, very wide, and he created a natural running lane here for Ricky Waters. And he comes upfield. It's an easy kick-out block by McCrary. And that's a good call when you see a defensive end lined up that wide.
Gain of 14 yards for Ricky Waters. He's now got 22 on 3 carries. Cunningham overthrows Calvin Williams at the 43-yard line of Arizona. Funny how your mind works. We were talking about the Dallas-Minnesota game. And I was thinking back to the Hail Mary pass, which brings to mind Drew Pearson. And Drew relished the idea of going over the middle when he played. He called it Drew's zone.
Kevin Turner, that was Kevin Turner just leaving the stadium. And Kevin Turner, that's a loss, because he is an old-fashioned football player.
Fred McCrary has taken his place, number 41. Calvin Williams.
There's some miscommunication going on here between quarterbacks and receivers. The play before, Randall threw the ball a little awkwardly, was pushed out of the pocket, but threw it kind of awkwardly. Said it was my fault. That time, I think he was expecting Williams to run the slant, and Calvin Williams ran a fade. Again, like we said, this West Coast offense, call it whatever you want, but it doesn't make a difference. You have to be able to execute the offensive plays.
Be a 3rd down now for Philadelphia. They're 0 of 2 on 3rd downs. They've got a 3rd and 10. Blitz look. Here comes the blitz. They got him, but the flags are down.
Good cadence by Cunningham.
Brent Alexander got there, but he may have come across the line prematurely. This one could go against the Cardinals. Unless that is one of the Eagle offensive linemen flinched. Howard Rowe.
Defense. Offsides, number 94. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Well, they got Bernard Wilson, number 94, so that'll
This is one of those all-out blitzes. You're going to see the pressure really come out from the outside, but it's hard to play against the Cardinals on 3rd and 10. But 46, Brent Alexander is the one who comes cleanly. And that's the thing about the Cardinals.